Good morning. How we doing, ladies and gents, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to FPL Talk Part 17. It is Monday. It's 10 o'clock, and that can only mean one thing, can't it? FPL chat, fantasy Premier League. We do everything fantasy this morning, and what a weekend we've had. Hey, that was exciting, wasn't it? That Premier League weekend. Still got a match tonight. Don't forget, it's Bournemouth and West Ham, isn't it, today? The final game of game week 16. But yes, what a weekend that was. Shock. I say a shock. Kind of a shock over in the Manchester derby. Some results again, Arsenal and Liverpool dropping points. Shocking it was. It was shocking. Anyway, without further ado, let's get you guys looking at what I can see here. And you can check it out. We'll have a chat about all things Fantasy Premier League. Yes, we will. Let's prep it up for you guys. Let's get ready to share. Here we go. All things Premier League. Fandabidozy. So, let's have a quick look at the fixtures and the results from the weekend. We had the Saturday game, didn't we? Arsenal versus Everton. I'm going to say it simply. I am shocked. I am. I know Everton are a decent-ish team, but come on, Arsenal at home. I would say our form has been a bit sketchy, but you expect us to beat Everton. We didn't. Doesn't matter what Arteta said about that second half and how we were in control, only one team deserved to win. That team didn't win. Fact. So therefore, in the end, it was a 0-0 draw. Everton dug in, didn't they really, in the end? What a game it was for Pickford. It was fantastic for Everton in the end. So the points went as follows. Gabriel got his 3 bonus points in that match. So anyone who stuck with Gabriel, because he was injured, wasn't he, for the past few game weeks, well done you guys. You got 3 points, 3 extra bonus points on top of that 6-point clean sheeter. Everton players, you obviously went young, didn't you? He got a yellow card in that match, so you lost out on a point and some bonuses. Pickford, you've still got Pickford as your goalkeeper. Kind of well done. You lost a point on the yellow card side of things, but you still got a clean sheet. And on top of that, you got 2 points, didn't you? For the bonus points, you got a point for 5 saves. You got 3. Didn't even quite reach the 6th save. Otherwise, that would have been an extra 2 points, wouldn't it, for your saves? So well done. Any Raya holders, Saliba holders, well done, you guys. You got yourselves 6 points. Same goes for Mikalenko. Well done. Anyone who held on to Mikalenko, I've been looking at him, and he's still on my radar potentially. Tough fixtures over Everton. But Mikalenko got himself 7 points because he got 6 and a bonus, didn't he? So 3 bonus points for Gabriel, 2 for Pickford, and 1 for Mikalenko. Then we had the Liverpool and Fulham game, which was running alongside that one, wasn't it? And a red card for Robinson caused a bit of an issue there, didn't it, for Liverpool? I was thinking, oh God, here we go. They're going to lose because they were behind. Then obviously Fulham scored again, and you're thinking, oh, Liverpool going to end up losing this game. And then Gakpo, didn't he? And Jota, those 2 guys scored for Liverpool. Jota, the last few minutes of the game, got a draw for them. Like a lot of people out there, a lot of you guys as well, I captained Mo Salah this game week, which paid off when you look at my players. I don't know about you guys. A lot of you might have Isak, who did really, really well, didn't he, for Newcastle. But I had the choice of Saka, Salah, Haaland. Those are essentially 3, maybe a Nicholas Jackson as a sort of a punt. But he's been a bit up and down, hasn't he, for Chelsea. So I went Mo Salah, played it safe, and I got an assist out of it in the end. So I'd rather have that than Saka's 3 points for Arsenal against Everton, or Haaland's 2 points. We'll have a look at that in a minute against Manchester United. So I ended up with 10. I'll take 10. It's better than nothing, isn't it, really, as a captaincy for Mo Salah. I also had Gomez in that match. A lot of you guys might have had Trent. Some of you might have been unfortunate enough to have Andy Robertson, and you got a red card in that one. Eek. Virgil van Dijk as well was another player. Alisson, you might have had these guys in your team. If you did, yeah, you wouldn't have got much out of that, to be honest. Even as a Gomez owner, I didn't get much at all really in the end from that game. Anyone who has Fulham and Anthony Robinson, big well done to you guys. He got 2 assists in this match, so he got some half decent points. No clean sheet, but he was playing Liverpool, so 6-pointer against Liverpool is pretty good going, isn't it, really? He did get a yellow card, mind you, so that knocked it down and probably knocked him off the bonus points because Gakpo got 3 Diego Jota got 2, and Muniz, who's been a bit in and out of the team, hasn't he? Mainly out because of Raul Jimenez. He got himself a couple of bonus points as well, so excellent. No save points for Becker, Alisson Becker, or Leno in that game either. And Iwobi, I'm sorry to say, didn't do much neither. Newcastle, Leicester, that was the big one, wasn't it? Well done, guys, who captained first and foremost Isak. You got yourself a goal and an assist. And on top of that, the bonus points were pretty much, I say you got 2, didn't you, really? Anyone who stuck with Lewis Hall, I'm semi-kicking myself, but, hey-ho. He got himself an assist and a clean sheet in this match. And more importantly, 3 bonus points, finishing that game with 15, a very, very, very respectable 15 for Hall, who's done okay. But let's be honest, and the reason why I was still in offensive Hall, Leicester City aside, we expect Newcastle to beat Leicester. Not necessarily cliche, but to beat Leicester. Everything else, and this is my excuse, and people would say, I'm looking at the form, Newcastle has been sketchy. And Lewis Hall has been, probably their best player to have if you're going to have a Newcastle asset, but he's not done much since game week 10 if you look at that history there. 8 points was the last time he did something at Chelsea, Arsenal, and then nothing since that point as well. So a clean sheet and 2 assists is excellent for Lewis Hall. 2 assists, clean sheet, and 3 bonus points. Deserve, to be fair, if that is the case, so fair enough. Another player I'm looking at, but I probably won't do much with, is Murphy. 2 goals today. He got a yellow card, or yesterday, so I say today, against Leicester. He did something against Brentford. Not much against Liverpool. And then, again, the only reason I'm holding off from considering him is really his minutes are a bit controlled. And even then against Brentford, 59, and Leicester, he only got 63 minutes. So maybe not an option, Jacob Murphy. Again, Leicester, guys, it's a defeat for Ruud van Nistelrooy. And Leicester, they weren't great, let's be honest with you. Saves, interestingly enough, it looks like Hermansen came off injured. Is Ward, should I say rather, a potential option at 4 million for those guys who've missed out on the Fabianski bandwagon? That's sailed a little bit. He's now 4.1, I think, isn't he, Fabianski? So, well done to any Isak holders. More importantly, Isak captainers. You got a decent amount of points in that game. Wolves versus Ipswich. Cunha. Yes, Cunha. There you go. He's done something. I don't have him in my team. But he's done something finally. He hasn't done anything for the past few game weeks, and against Ipswich he scored, did well against them, performed well, but then so did Ipswich, didn't they? Hey, winning 2-1, goals from Taylor and OG, wasn't it, from Doherty? So very, very good indeed. Player like Jack Clark got an assist, Chaplin got one as well, Taylor got the goal, so they did quite well in the end in that game. Muric got a couple of saves as well. He got bonus points, so if anyone who's got Muric in their team, he wouldn't have got many points recently, but you got yourself 5. Johnston's obviously the goalkeeper for Wolves at the moment. He only got 1. Taylor got a bonus point as well. So 8 Nouri owners, though. Let's address the elephant in the room. Another yellow and red card, wasn't it? It was a red card after full time, that one, wasn't it? I think so. 8 Nouri, what are you playing at? That's the second one after full time this game week, isn't it? You've got a red card. I feel for the 8 Nouri owners, I do. I think he only misses 1 game week, because it was 2 yellows, wasn't it? So he's only out for the game, but against Leicester as well, that might have been a good game to own 8 Nouri and have him in your starting team. He is red carded, leaving that match with -2. So, and what that game also, the big news to come out of that game as well was Gary O'Neill was fired. He was sacked, wasn't he? Relieved of duties, however you want to word it. He was basically booted out of Molineux. The big question is who's going to take over at Wolves, really. I hear they've already approached Victor Pereira in Saudi Arabia. I know a little bit about Victor Pereira. He might be a half-decent player. He's won some titles and leagues where he's managed Portugal, a couple of other leagues as well, I think Greece. So he'd be an interesting one for you. Whether he'd leave, Saudi Arabia, a lot of people say, Saudi, of course you'd leave for a Premier League game, manager's opportunity, but I'm not sure. Wolves are at the bottom half. They've got a decent team. My opinion, it's weird, but I don't think Wolves are a bottom 3 team. I really don't. I don't think they're much more than a bottom. I think they're probably bottom 4 or 5. But I don't think they should be relegated. But just because I don't think they should be relegated doesn't mean they won't be. I look at their players in general in Wolves, and I think Cunha, come on, he'll probably leave at the end of the season, but he's a brilliant player. Strand Larsen's done well for them, hasn't he? He-Chan, another player who was on form last season, wasn't he? He was absolutely foreign. Neto and him were the two players to have, weren't they, really? Aït-Nouri was another one as well. Some of the other players, look at the team. I mean, it's tricky on Sarabia. If he wasn't injured, isn't he ex-Paris Saint-Germain player, isn't he? He's a half-decent winger. I mean, he's not exactly Pedro Neto replacement, but he's good. I just look for Fabio Silva. I can't believe that. I mean, I remember playing on Football Manager quite a bit and signing Fabio Silva from Porto and thinking, what a great player he is. Oh, he's a young, wonder kid. Got to get him in the team. Some other players like Semedo, we know Semedo from past. Great player back in the day as well. Just underperforming a little bit. Gonzalo Guedes, again, another player who's quite well known, got an assist. So, yeah, I just look at even the goalkeepers as well, Jose Sarr and Johnston. They're half decent. They're good players. So, maybe if they were able to sign some players would be a good start. And I guess that's what all the Wolves fans are screaming. Why don't they get to sign players? They sell all these players. Neto went, didn't he? And Max Kilman left for West Ham. And you thought, oh, where's the replacements for those? But such is the way of Wolves. So the big news on that one is Gary Neal got fired, sacked at the end of that match, didn't he? The big question is who's going to come in. Looks like Pereira. How will that make the Wolves' assets perform? Cunha's, Strand Larsen's, Aït-Nouri when he's back from suspension. Even going to the centre halves like Totti, Dawson, the goalkeeper Johnston or Jose Sarr. You think, will they start picking up clean sheets? Maybe getting involved, perhaps even goals from set pieces if Wolves get a chance. So definitely something to keep an eye on the Wolves players after the new year once they've got a new manager in place. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. It was a good game, wasn't it? It was a really good game. I enjoyed watching that one. Wonder save from Martinez. Did you see that one on the line? Oh, I clawed it. What a fantastic save. That is from the ex-Arsenal man. Yeah, Arsenal fan here. Duran scoring again. Does that mean that John Duran is now Aston Villa's main man? Has he taken over that mantle from Watkins? I know Watkins did come in at the end, but the goal in the last two games, admittedly against Forest and against Southampton, but still nonetheless, super sub until that point. Is he finally getting his chance? He deserves it, let's be honest. Is he finally getting that chance? As for Forest, yet another goal for Milinkovic. I've said this quite a few times to some of my mates who are Forest fans, and I've said this also on here as well. Milinkovic is pretty much, to me, the signing of the season for Forest and across a lot of different teams as well. He has been outstanding. He is half the reason why, if not one of the main reasons why Forest did so well defensively and have performed so well. I know Murillo will all jump on him and say he's been great. Aina as well at fullback has done really, really well. But to me, Milinkovic is the signing of the season so far. He has been outstanding. A lot of people say, oh, what are you talking about? X, Y, and Z is a really good sign-up. Either way, my honest opinion is he's been brilliant and he's been understated. He really has. Goal again. Second, 2 in 2 for Milinkovic. Someone to look at. That's why he's gone up in price to 4.6. There's a reason behind that. Clean sheet against Ipswich. Didn't do well against Man City, but let's be honest, Man City are decent sometimes. Goal against Man United. Goal against Aston Villa. That is something to keep an eye on. It really, really is, Milinkovic. The ship has sailed a little bit if you wanted him at 4.5 or less. A player from Forest. Someone I've got my eye on. Nico Williams. He's played a few games for them now. Admittedly, Moreno is there as well in the background, but he hasn't been even on the bench, Moreno, and it doesn't show signs of injury. So I assume there might be something going on between Nuno Espirito Santo and Nuno and Alex Moreno, maybe. So that game was Elanga with a goal, Milinkovic with a goal as well. Duran got the goal for Villa. Anderson with the assist. Another good performance from Anderson. He's done really well since he's left Newcastle, hasn't he? Lots to talk about from Howe saying he didn't want to lose Anderson, but you lost him and he's doing well. Gibbs White again performing well. McGinn getting the assist for Aston Villa. The bonus points went to Gibbs White, so if you've got Gibbs White still, well done you guys. You've got 3 bonus points out of him. Anderson got 2 and Milinkovic got 1. McGinn getting the 1 for Villa. So surprising actually, but I guess went to McGinn because of the yellow card to Duran. Otherwise he would have got the bonus points. Then we went to yesterday's games, didn't we? Brighton versus Crystal Palace. And I mentioned this last time and I'll say it again. Ismaila Sarr Is he taking over from Eze? Is he taking over from Zaha? Is he taking over from Elise? I know Eze still plays for Crystal Palace and performs well and does well, but I've seen Ismail Assar in the last few games. He's been wasteful prior to this point, but are we starting to see it click now? 2 goals, 1 assist. Okay, it's against Brighton, but still, it's something. It's spark. He did well against Villa. If you have a look at the history as well, that was a couple of game weeks back as well. What he needs is consistency, and what he needs is to feel, I guess, a bit of love, really, which he did at Watford for a period of time, especially when they were in the Premier. Ismail Assar, everyone wanted Ismail Assar. Chalobah, again, if you've got him in your team, I have had a look at him as being a cheap sort of Crystal Palace player. We have a goal against Brighton, and we had a clean sheet against Ipswich. Nketiah, Mitchell, and Sarr with the assists also. Gahey, someone I've mentioned previously, own goal. For the 7.5% people who own him, unlucky guys. Dunk got a yellow card. I've been semi-avoiding him, but considering him as well at the same time. So your bonus points for that match was Ismail Assar. Mitchell got 2 and Chalobah got 1, but the full set went to Sarr, didn't it? 3-1 Crystal Palace. I had, so in terms of players that I've had so far, obviously I had Raya and Saka in the top one. Mo Salah and Gomez for Liverpool. Didn't have anyone in this game. Didn't have anyone starting in that one, Wolves versus Ipswich. And I had Morgan Rogers for Villa, and he didn't do anything. So he got 2 in this one. On the bench, I had Jorginho Rota, and that was it for this game. And then we move over to the game that I did have players in, the Manchester derby, which shocked me a little bit. I've got to be honest, it did. The moment I saw Guardiola score, I thought to myself, oh, here we go. City are probably going to get a second and win it 2-0, 2-1 or something like that. And then the game turned, didn't it? It did. It turned in that second half towards the end when Bruno Fernandes got that penalty. Amad Diallo got fouled and Bruno Fernandes buried it. And I thought, okay, 1-1. That's probably how it's going to end. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. Not great for City, but they didn't lose at least. And then it happened, didn't it? And then Amad Diallo picked up that ball and scored an absolute beauty. And I'm not a United fan at all. I'm not any. I had players in from Manchester City in this game. I had a couple. I had Rico Lewis was on the bench anyway, but I had Haaland obviously in this game, and I thought to myself, that is a goal and a half, which Amad Diallo scored. It was brilliant. I've mentioned him in the previous parts as well. How I was interested in bringing him in, and I was looking at bringing him in maybe for one of my players. So yeah, if you've got Amad Diallo, well done you guys for jumping on that bandwagon. If you've got Bruno Fernandes, well done as well. You've got yourself a goal in this game. I've been looking at Martinez. You remember Lisandro Martinez? He got an assist in that game as well. Guardiola scored for Manchester City and De Bruyne with the assist in that. So your bonus points went to Amad Diallo, who got 3 bonus points in this game. Bruno Fernandes got 2, and Martinez got 1. Ending the game with Amad Diallo with 13. Bruno Fernandes got 9. Guardiola got 7. De Bruyne 6, and Martinez got 6 as well. Doku got a 3 because he went off before the goals went in for Manchester United. But that was a bit of a shocker. I did expect Haaland to do something in this game. I really did. Clearly expecting more than I should have. So yeah, I was quite surprised that Haaland didn't really have any influence on that game at all, really. Then we had the Chelsea versus Brentford game. And I was very much hoping that Palmer wouldn't do anything, because I know a lot of you guys out there captain Palmer. Yes, you did, as an alternative, didn't you, for Salah? The winners this weekend are the Isak owners, followed by the Mo Salah owners, aren't they, really, in terms of the obvious captaincy choices? However, if you did do a curveball and decide to captain Nicholas Jackson, well done you. Enzo also, if you captained him, you would have got the same amount of points as Mo Salah. If you captained Mbuemo, wow, that's a proper curveball. Well done you even more. So the goals, it was 2-1 in this game, wasn't it, really? We'll talk about the man in a minute, don't worry. Cucurella scored the first, didn't he? Jackson scored as well for Chelsea. Assist by Enzo. Enzo's on fire at the moment. I'm definitely looking at Enzo. And Madueke is another player who was assisting. Mbuemo scored for Brentford and Sade assisted. However, all eyes go to that red card, don't they? It was like a semi-carbon copy of the Wolves match in 8 Nuri. So you guys out there who own 8 Nuri and own Cucurella, I genuinely feel for you a little bit. Of what are they playing at after full time? I mean, madness, really, let's be honest. Why? Why get embroiled? Even if you are offended, I know they're human beings. I know they are. And you can, respond and you're emotional and all that kind of thing. But just crazy. And Cucurella's done really, really well recently. A lot of people jumped on Cucurella because of his his assists, goals, and involvement. Let's use that word. Quite recently, Villery got an assist in the clean sheet in that game, 2 bonus points, not against Southampton, and then against Tottenham, he got an assist and he got 4. And Brentford, he got a goal, and he got 5, but he got that red card, and it literally went from 14 points on that right down to only, from right down from that to 5. Must have been a sucker punch really for anyone who owns Cucurella. Flecken got 6 saves, so he would have got you an extra 2, so he got 3 in the end in that game. It was the most pleasing part of it as a non-Cole Palmer owner was Cole Palmer not getting anything in this game, not even a clean sheet, not even a 3-pointer, and more importantly, being a Nicholas Jackson owner, he got through the game without a yellow card. The goal is merely a bonus. No, it's the yellow card. I know it's hanging over a lot of people's heads. The next yellow card and Nicholas Jackson is suspended, providing it's prior to game week 19. That's the crucial thing to mention there, game week 19. Then we had the big weird match yesterday, didn't we? I watched it and I thought, oh, good God, why is Brennan Johnson not starting this game first and foremost? And then I thought, don't bother bringing him on then if he just got to do that, and he did. So in the end, the game was 5-0 to Tottenham. Yes, it was. Southampton did a little bit in the end. They were pushing within reason towards the end of the match, and I was thinking, please don't score, because I had Dragosin still in my team. He was in the main starting 11, and they were pushing. There was some real chances towards the end. Dibbling was on fire towards the end of the match. Didn't score, but he was really electric. He is a great player. He looks really fantastic. But for Spurs, on the other hand, if you have any of these players, a big well done. And the main one being Son. People wanted a bit of Heung-min Son, didn't they, really, after his performances recently? He got a goal and 2 assists in this game. 14. He was 7-pointer against Chelsea, where he scored, and he got 2 assists and a goal in this game against Southampton. Maddison got another 2 as well. He's done quite well recently. He got an assist, albeit in 11 minutes against Chelsea, a cameo. But he got 2 against Southampton. Kulusevski, a man definitely got an eye on just because of his minutes more, I think, versus Brennan Johnson. A goal in both the last 2 games, Chelsea and Southampton, and their fixtures look okay after Liverpool. So maybe a transfer in the future waiting to happen. Sarr got a goal as well. A 90-minute game for him, so he's second. He obviously played 56 in the match against Bournemouth, so 2 full 90 minutes and a goal. And then in terms of the assists, Solanke got on. So he did something, he got an assist, he got 5 points, so it's been 6 and 5 in the last 2 games, points-wise for him. Jed Spence, on a rare outing, got a clean sheet, an assist, and a bonus point as well. So he should have got a bonus point, should I say. He got an assist. Should have got a bonus point, in my opinion, as well, but he didn't. The points did, though, however, go to Maddison, who got 3, all 3, despite getting the yellow card. Son got 2, and Sarr got 1. Now, the big news to come out of this game was the sacking of Russell Martin as well, wasn't it? He got relieved of his duties at St Mary's. To be fair, I've been saying this a while as a bit of a jokey thing, but if I'm honest with you, it's been a long time coming, Russell Martin. I don't know who they're going to go for. They're talking about Robin's ex-manager as well. One of the guys over at Sheffield Wednesday, the manager over there, potentially. Maybe they'll go. They think Graham Potter will go there or anyone like that. David Moyes thinks turned down the chance. The thing about Southampton, they've got some half-decent assets, haven't they, really, when you think about it? Not phenomenal, but half-decent. We talk Archer, he's a half-decent striker, on his day. Armstrong, a lot of people say, was a good striker as well. Dibbling is a brilliant prospect. I think he should be playing every single match. I know he's young and I know he's still raw, but you play him all the time. He is your main attacking threat in general. And in defence, well, you've got Walker-Peters, who maybe has declined a little bit, but still a half-decent fullback. Harwood-Bellis, and you spent all that money on him from Manchester City. He's definitely a defender and a half, isn't he, really? Bednarek is obviously experienced, ex-Poland, but is he starting to wane a little bit. And your goalkeeper, though he's injured right this second, you know, Ian Ramsdale, you bought him from Arsenal. He's a top keeper. He really is. I know he's a bit flappy sometimes, but he is a top goalkeeper to have to a club like Southampton. So yeah, they've got some really good players. So whoever does get that job, it's not like you're walking in and you've got a bunch of average players. You've got some talent to work with. You really do. You know, if you can get the right kind of team, ethic, formation, hard to beat, I think you could do quite well. You know, and maybe I don't think you'll get out of the actual relegations. And the problem is I see Southampton going down, but they could at least, you know, play with a bit of pride, get a bit of pushing towards the end of the season, maybe work their way up a few places in the table. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna, you know, I don't think they're gonna end up crawling out the relegation zone regardless of who comes in. Maybe Ketchup might get a chance as well. My 3.9 defender that I'm looking at, maybe he's completely out of the team. I don't know. The big match tonight, though, Bournemouth versus West Ham. Iraola versus Lopetegui. Is this Lopetegui's last chance? Are we going to see 3 sackings this game week potentially? And the worst part about it, we've got this assistant manager chip to play soon as well. So I wonder what they're going to be doing in the background with that. Right? 0.5 million for Russell Martin and O'Neill maybe and Lopetegui, and all 3 of them get fired, you know, or sacked. Who ends up becoming the 0.5 assistant manager that we can bring in for the chip? Who knows? But Iraola versus Lopetegui tonight, unfortunately, I can see an Iraola victory. So unfortunately, because Lopetegui, I think he's probably going to end up getting sacked this game week. I think that the board are going to look at what's happened at Saints, and they're going to look at what happened at Wolves, and they're going to say, well, look, they've been brave enough to get rid of their managers. We're going to do the same. You know, Lopetegui, his time has, in my opinion, been up for a while now. They could turn to Potter. They could turn to, you know, I would think Gareth Southgate would go there, but they could turn to managers. I think West Ham have got a lure with Bowen, Kudos, you know, even James Ward-Prowse. I don't think he's alone, isn't he, at the moment, but he'll come back. So, yeah, little things like that, players like that, you know, with Emerson also there as well. I think they've got a decent team. Soucek, Fabianski, Areola, one of those 2 in goal. They've got players, you know, Fulkrug as well up front. So it's not, I've got no one. I mean, I'm not saying they're phenomenal players, but I'm saying they're decent enough to get out of where they are and to win some games. You know, if you get them firing, get the right formation, get the right kind of manager in, make them hard to beat, bring back David Moyes. But yeah, I think it's an Iraola victory tonight. Iraola is going to win. Bournemouth are going to win probably in a 2-1, something along those lines. If Nielsen's one to watch tonight, I think he'll do a job. Maybe Kluivert as well. Those guys up front. So yes, definitely going to be a good match. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. So yeah, I think Bowen probably will do a job tonight. Him and Kudos, I think, or Kudus, however you pronounce it. Those 2 are going to do the damage for West Ham. But yes, we will be doing another show at 2:30 as always. I will talk a little bit more about other bits and bobs that are going on fantasy-wise a bit later. I've got a plan of action to talk about. So yes, but a little bit of a shock this weekend with all the sackings. The Manchester derby was a little bit of a surprise to me. I expected City to win. I didn't expect Gary O'Neill and Russell Martin to be fired this weekend, despite the fact that their time was up a little while ago. But we'll see. Can we make it a hat-trick of sackings this weekend? That'll be a funny one, wouldn't it, really, with Lopetegui gone as well. So, but West Ham fans might feel relieved if that happens. But otherwise, join me at 2:30 this afternoon, and we will talk more Fantasy Premier League, Part 18. I will see you guys then. I've been AJ.